Hi, my name is Raj, and today we're going to be doing a prime rib on the smoker. It's going to be delicious. All right, we're gonna go ahead and trim up our prime rib steak here. Ooh, a little prime rib. It's gonna get a little bloody, but you know what? That's what we kind of like. What we're gonna do is we're gonna end up taking this part here, and I wanna take off a lot of this extra fat because on a lot of this stuff is not gonna render. So we're gonna go ahead and take off a bunch of this. Gonna be a little careful because this is the good cut of meat that's right underneath. So we're gonna take most of this off because it will not render in the smoker. There's a pretty big hunk of meat right here, or hunk of this fat. I mean, it is good. If you ever watch the Alone show, people love the survivalist butter or something like that, right? I don't want to take off any of the meat really, but I want to get close with this fat cut so I can get a good smoke ring on it and get a good crispy bark on the outside of this, because that's really what we're after. All right, we're getting to the point now where everything's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the amount of fat that's still going to be able to be rendered on that. Let's take a look at the other side. I think everything looks pretty good. Now this cut of meat we did have in the freezer for a while, so this is thawed. Obviously, like, certainly fresh would be much, much better, but just goes to show you, as long as you freeze your meats, you're always gonna have some good stuff to be able to be cooked. All right, today we're gonna be doing some seasoning with a little bit of black pepper and salt to start as our first initial layer, but we're going to be binding with some Worcestershire sauce, everybody's favorite thing. We're gonna go a little bit heavy on the pepper here because that's really what's gonna give us that delicious, beautiful bark. So big chunks of salt. Just go ahead and mix that up a little bit. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bind this up just so we have a nice tight so it doesn't fall apart while we're grilling this stuff. So I'm gonna do that before we start seasoning up. So kind of wanna get this all together. A little bit of butcher's twine, just to kind of hold the whole thing together. We're gonna be using this as a binder. Gonna really bring out a lot of that good, delicious flavor as well. So I'm just gonna go a little liberal with it. Just gonna use it as a binder, kind of move that around a bit. We're gonna get every side because we do want a nice, good bark on this. Grab some of the salt and pepper as our initial thing. I'm just gonna pat it down. Huge chunk of meat's gonna, you're gonna get a very little flavor from the outside of it. You're gonna get way more from the inside of it. So it's only like the edge that you'll be biting from. So I wanna make sure that we do get a good flavor on the edge. Oh my gosh, that's already smelling good. I love grilling, because I tell you what, the smells of grilling, oh, just so good. All right, for our little bit of flavor, we're gonna do some garlic, some thyme, and some rosemary, and a little bit of ground paprika. So I'm thinking that we wanna get a little bit of this flavor profile. I know a lot of people will say, I added a cup, I'm adding this much, all right? This is kind of how I like to cook. So we're gonna do rosemary and thyme. Ooh, man, that is flavorful. Ooh, that's got an aroma to it. Did I mention how cooking smells so dang good? All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of garlic and a little bit of ground paprika. And this is just gonna be sort of like a sprinkle on flavor. So we're just gonna stir that up a little bit. And there is our extra rub, we'll say, on the top that we're gonna be doing. Let's get that applied to the meat. And again, I'm just gonna be like, just give it a little of this. Just to add a little bit of flavor to the bark, maybe pat it down a little bit. Don't want it to be overwhelmed, got a little bit too much there, so I'm just gonna, do a little bit of that action. And that is gonna be our flavor profile, and that's gonna get ready to go on the smoker. get our coals and our grill, our smoker about 250 to 275 degrees, and then we'll get our meats cooking. It'll be absolutely delicious. All right, now it's time to put right in the middle of the rack here. We're gonna put down our delicious, wonderful, I'm gonna put the fatty side towards the front side there. Oh, that sounds so good. Then, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our pellets to the fire here so we can get our smoke going. This is our water smoked hickory. So we're gonna let this smoke now for about 45 minutes. I'll check it, and we're gonna baste it a little bit with a little bit more of that Worcestershire sauce. And we're gonna want the internal temperature of the meat to be in the very center at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. That's freedom units. All right, it's been about 45 minutes on the smoker, and we're gonna go ahead and baste it and take a look at what we got and check our internal temperatures here. So far, that's looking delicious. Gonna keep those juices, a little bit of splash of Worcestershire sauce on there. Oh, listen to that sizzle. I wanna get right in the middle of it. Right down in the middle. And it looks like we're sitting right around 71 to 72 degrees right now in the middle. We want that to be 120. It's gonna be that perfect rarity. So let's put a little bit more fuel on the fire. Get this thing smoking. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Our meats are looking really good. Look at that. That looks absolutely gorgeous. Been about 2.5 hours on that. I'm gonna stick it right in the middle there. Oh, that's looking perfect. Got a little bit of good charring on this side too. So there's gonna be a little bit more rare, a little bit more well done. All right, we're definitely over 120. That is looking excellent, guys. So this is done. So now it's time to take this off and get it resting. So let's get it to the plate. Oh, look at that. Looks absolutely amazing. All right, next step is we're just gonna make ourselves a little tinfoil tent. All right, we let it rest about 20 minutes. Now let's see what we got. I think it's looking pretty good. This is also our first attempt at this, so we're gonna go ahead and do a quick. I think this should be pretty darn good though. We're going to go ahead and cut this, our strings off, our binding strings. They should just come right off like that. All right, nice. Okay, now for the big reveal. I'm going to cut right down the middle here to see what we got. It smells amazing though. That looks pretty darn good, you guys. It looks pretty darn good. Look at that smoke coming off of there. Oh, because we have to have the chefs try.